All right, you are live, and we're talking about relativity space today. They recently made an announcement that recently, I mean literally yesterday or day before yesterday, that Eric Schmidt is now their CEO. So let's see. American aerospace company headquartered in Long Beach, California, focused on revolutionizing rocket manufacturing and launch services. Founded in 2015 by Tim Ellis and Jordan, the company leverages advanced technologies like 3D printing, artificial intelligence, and autonomous robotics to build robots more efficiently and to build rockets more efficiently and cost effectively. Their mission is to meet the growing demand for space infrastructure by offering reusable launch vehicles, long term vision of establishing humanity's industrial base on Mars. First rocket Terran 1 was the world's first 3D printed rocket and launched successfully in March 23, though it failed to reach orbit. Following this, Relativity shifted focus to Terran R, larger, reusable, medium to heavy lift rocket slated for its initial launch in 26. Terran R aims to deliver high volume performance with pre-sold launch agreements exceeding 1.8 billion, reflecting strong market demand. Company uses its proprietary Stargate 3D printers, the largest of their kind, to streamline production, reducing part counts and build times significantly compared to traditional methods. This is very interesting. Okay, so building, they're basically 3D printing rockets over here. And the first model, Terran 1, failed to reach orbit. And our Terran R, that's the goal. Let's get it to orbit. Okay, so everybody could then have their own rocket. And it is offering reusable launch vehicles. Okay, so it's just one thing. It's just reusable launch vehicles, 3D printed. Relativity Space operates multiple facilities, including a massive 1 million square foot factory in Long Beach, testing sites at NASA's Stennis Space Center in Mississippi, and launch pads at Cape Canaveral, Florida, and Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. This is really cool. Like when you start working in the space industry, you pretty much are working all over the country. Like in Mississippi, in the middle, Cape Canaveral, Florida, and California. Wow. Backed by investors like Mark Cuban, BlackRock, and Fidelity, the company was valued at 4.2 billion as of its last funding round. Recently, 25, former Google CEO Eric Schmidt took over as CEO, signaling a new chapter for its ambitious goals. Let's see. Exciting times as Relativity. We have completed the vehicle level critical design review for Terran R and began flight production. It's full steam ahead towards first launch and beyond. Yeah, these are the videos we love to watch. Yes, nice. I freaking love space technology. Amazing work. Okay, let's go back. What do we have? Oh, latest update. All right, let's see. Terran R is coming to life. We have advanced design fidelity across all subsystems, hit significant hardware and software development milestones, and moved into first flight production. Let's take a look at what the team has been up to. For flight build highlights. Okay. Both stage 2 barrels are built and stage 1 panel routing is underway. Nearly half of the panels required for first flight have been machined and formed. The thrust structure hub is built and undergoing integration. Stage 2 barrel assembly is underway with brackets being integrated. All 6 drones for 10 hours first flight are undergoing mechanical assembly. Propulsion has been keeping it hot. Oh, this is a good photo. Propulsion has been keeping it hot. Our flight intent engine has accumulated more than 2500 plus seconds of runtime for exceeding its reusable service life. Recent upgrades include integrated avionics with a flight-like software stack for closed loop thrust, throttle, and valve commands, and thrust vector control for gimbaled testing. Okay, with Testing of our flight intent engine design well underway. We are nearing the end of A1R development and approaching qualification. GNC algorithmic running. Avionics flight software and GNC are hitting key development milestones. Yeah, it's crazy that today we can make so much technology. We have so much technology. So much technology. You can make things look beautiful. You can do so many things with AI and everything. How did people send rockets to the moon in 1960? That is crazy. That is still crazy to think about. Avionics flight software and GNC are hitting key development milestones, completed multiple iterations of advanced flight simulations from liftoff to landing to orbit, develop algorithms for engine control, mid-flight guidance, day of launch trajectory design and navigation, reach orbit with vehicle software in a hardware out of the loop HOOTL, test with flight-like GNC algorithms, working towards vehicle hardware in the loop build. Okay. What can we see over here? We see some. What are these rockets? These are 3D printed launch vehicles. Okay. Seems like the new site. Wow, a lot of stuff happening. Wow. You take over an entire land and you're just like, let's build it. Let's build it. Critical test and launch vehicles, launch infrastructure is rapidly progressing. Stennis MS activated dual bay test capabilities, allowing two engines to be fired back to back. Double the blue fire, double the fun. Double the blue fire, double the fun. Cape Canaveral FL. Okay, this is Cape Canaveral. Okay. Laying foundation, installing pipes, and pouring concrete for new Terran R launch pad and supporting facilities. So this is going to be the launch pad. Long Beach, developing new test assets, including a structural stand for qualification acceptance testing. Wait, what is this? Your GNC? Looking at the GNC animation, does it assume there will be a nice view of the landing location as the rocket nears the ship? Wouldn't there be dust and smoke occluding the view? Occluding. I love how people use complicated languages. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this photo is pretty cool. Oh. Here's my take on Relativity Space's excellent launch last night. I'm starting to wonder whether it's Terran 1 and done. Okay. Let's see. Successful failure with the debut of Terran 1. Successful failure with the debut of Terran 1. Today is a huge win with many historic firsts. The shiny white Terran 1 rocket launched on its third attempt Wednesday night, lifting off from Florida's Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The small methane-fueled rocket then produced some stunning views as a bluish-green flame powered it toward space against the blackness of night. The first stage with 9 engines appeared to perform nominally as it rose smoothly through the atmosphere, firing for more than 2 minutes. And the rocket's second stage successfully separated. After this, something happened. From the video on board the rocket, it appeared the second stage engine attempted to ignite but could not sustain this ignition. So far, the company has not stated precisely what went wrong, be it the problem with one of the propellant pumps, injectors, or igniter systems. Regardless, the second stage, which carried no payload due to the experimental nature of the test flight, fell back into the Atlantic Ocean. Following the flight, Relativity posted a statement on Twitter characterizing the mission as a success due to the rocket's passage through the area of maximum dynamic pressure during the flight profile. Today's launch proved Relativity's 3D printed rocket technologies that will enable our next vehicle, Terran R. We successfully made it through Max Q, the highest stress state on our printed structures. This is the biggest proof point for a novel additive manufacturing approach. Today is a huge win with many historic firsts. We also progress through main engine cutoff and state separation. We will assess flight data and provide public updates on the coming days. Over the coming days, it is proper to characterize it as a success of the new era of commercially developed small launch vehicles. Terran 1 rocket made it further on the debut flight than Astra, Virgin Orbit, Firefly, and ABL space systems. Yeah, these photos are so cool. Produced some lovely blue flames during its ascent. Okay, only Rocket Lab, with the debut of its smaller Electron rocket in 2017, had a more successful initial flight. In producing a rocket with about 85% additively manufactured material, Relativity has flown with a substantially new manufacturing process. The extent to which Wednesday's launch validated the additively manufactured structure of the Terran 1 will need to be assessed with data from the flight. Was it a close call, or was the structure genuinely robust? This information will likely help determine how much of Terran R is produced through 3D printed technology. How quickly the company pivots away from Terran 1 with a payload capacity of 1.25 metric tons to low Earth orbit to the much larger Terran R vehicle. The CEO Tim Ellis has only committed to flying the Terran 1 rocket on one more time. However, the company's statement speaking of enabling our next vehicle indicates that Relativity may be ready to move on to Terran R immediately. Okay. What if I say tell me all about Relativity Space, including the story of the founder? Aspiring to build humanity's industrial future on Mars. Ultimate vision extends beyond Earth. Founder story. Two young engineers with a shared passion for space exploration and belief that rocket manufacturing could be radically improved. Tim Ellis, born in Texas, Ellis grew up fascinated by space, inspired by sci-fi and the potential of extraterrestrial exploration. He studied aerospace engineering at the University of Southern California, where he met Nolan. Before founding Relativity, Ellis worked at Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' aerospace company, where he was part of the propulsion team and became an early advocate for 3D printing and rocket production. His team at Blue Origin exposed him to the inefficiencies of traditional aerospace manufacturing, long lead times, high cost, and rigid supply chains, which planted the seed for a new approach. Jordan, also the aerospace engineering graduate from USC, he complemented Ellis with his hands-on technical expertise. Prior to Relativity, he worked at SpaceX, Elon Musk's rocket company, where he contributed to structural engineering projects. At USC, Nguyen led the rocket propulsion lab, successfully launching a student-built rocket which honed his skills in rapid prototyping and innovation. His experience at SpaceX reinforced his belief in reusable rockets, but also highlighted the need for a more automated, scalable production process. Met at USC, bonded with a foundation with the aerospace industry's slow pace and outdated methods. In 2015, while still in their mid-20s, they left their prestigious jobs at Blue Origin and SpaceX to start Relativity Space. It's actually crazy because they left SpaceX and Blue Origin in 2015. And we are in 2025, 10 years later. And even these two companies have progressed so much in the last 10 years. So much. The bold idea used 3D printing to simplify rocket assembly, reduce cost, and accelerate production, making spaceflight more accessible. They pitched this vision to Mark Cuban, who became one of the earliest investors, kicking off the company with a $500K seed round. Began in a small Los Angeles office with a clear goal: disrupt the $12 billion launch industry by building rockets faster and cheaper than competitors like SpaceX or United Launch Alliance. The founders saw 3D printing as the key. I'm actually curious. Let's ask this question. We'll go back to it later. Has SpaceX okay, we'll get back to it. Early days. All right. Why assemble rockets for thousands of individually machined parts when you could print entire components in one go? They developed the Stargate printer, dubbed the world's largest 3D metal printer, capable of producing rocket structures up to 20 feet tall with minimal human intervention. The initial focus was Terrain 1. This actually makes so much sense. That's very interesting. Like when you think about how many small, tiny components go into building a rocket and their entire supply chain and how much that leads to overhead costs. What if you can print entire components in one go? That's really cool. They developed the Stargate printer, dubbed the world's largest 3D printer, capable of producing rocket structures up to 20 feet tall with minimal human intervention. Their initial focus was Terrain 1, a small lift. But I'm also curious, like, this is leading to a lot of duplication, isn't it? Because they are trying to prove the concept of 3D printed rockets. The point that, hey, you don't need too many components, you don't need all these, you don't need to worry about buying all these components and assembling all these components. You could literally just print them all in one go. But to do that, they have to actually build the entire rocket and entire technology, which SpaceX is also like, they have to work on propulsion. They maybe, are they trying to also build propulsion components? I'm guessing they are trying to basically look at the entire rocket and be like, take the entire rocket that SpaceX has, look at all the components they have, and being like, okay, we want the same performance, but we want as much 3D printed components as possible. And if we can prove that this can fly, that's it, people will come to us. So it's very interesting. They are just trying to, their goal was to just 3D print all the components instead of buying them. But now, to prove that their method works, they also have to fly that rocket. So they don't just need 3D printing, they don't just need manufacturing capabilities, they need the entire rocket propulsion, they need the entire rocket design capabilities and expertise, because they have to prove that this method works. And I'm curious how many employees were just hired from SpaceX. Producing rocket structures up to 20 feet tall with minimal human intervention. Their initial focus was Terran 1, a small lift rocket designed to carry 1250 kg to low Earth orbit. It was marketed as an affordable option for small satellite operators. The name Terran reflects their Earth-centric starting point with an eye towards Mars. The company's broader mission to enable multi-planetary civilization mirrored SpaceX's ambition, but with a unique emphasis on manufacturing innovation. 2017-18 secured 35 million Series B round by Playground Global and moved into a larger facility in Long Beach. They began testing their Aeon 1 engine, a 3D printed methane oxygen engine, at NASA's Stennis Space Center in Mississippi. 2020, a $500 million Series D round led by Tiger Global and Fidelity valued the company at $2.3 billion. This funding fueled the development of Terran 1 and laid groundwork for a larger rocket. Series B 35, Series G 500 million, launched from Cape Canaveral in a mission dubbed Good Luck, Have Fun, GLHF. Good luck, have fun. It was the first 3D printed rocket to reach space with 85% of its mass printed, a historic feat. However, a second stage engine failure prevented it from reaching orbit. Despite the partial success, it validated their printing technology. 24. Pivoted to Terran R, a reusable medium to heavy lift rocket capable of carrying 23,500 kg, to LEO, competing with SpaceX's Falcon 9, with a first launch planned for 26 from Vandenberg Space Force Base. Terran R reflects lessons from Terran 1. Terran R reflects lessons from Terran 1 and a 1.8 billion backlog of launch contracts. Current status has grown into a major player with over 1,000 employees and a sprawling 1 million square foot headquarters in Long Beach, nicknamed the Wormhole. The company operates test sites at Stennis, launch facilities at Cape Canaveral and Vandenberg, and has 4.2 billion valuation from its 21 Series A round. In a surprising move, Eric Schmidt, former Google CEO, took over as CEO in early 25, bringing tech leadership expertise to scale operation. Tim Ellis transitioned to a strategic role, likely CTO president, while Jordan had stepped away earlier to pursue other ventures, including co-founding Embedded Ventures. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hmm. This is very interesting. It's a good technology, but they have to now basically compete with SpaceX. Why can you not just be the supplier of SpaceX? You have to compete with SpaceX. I'm guessing there are a lot of strategic. Interesting. Terran R's development is on track with the Aeon R engines, an evolved version of Aeon 1 in testing. The rocket will use methane and liquid oxygen, aligning with industry trends for reusability and performance. Relativity's Stargate printers have advanced, now producing components in days rather than months, and the company is exploring in-space manufacturing for future Mars missions. Culture blends startup hustle with aerospace ambition. Ellis and no one known fostered a team of young driven engineers, many from top firms like SpaceX and Blue Origin. The company emphasizes agility. Its motto, "The future is printed." The future is printed reflects a belief in iterative tech driven progress. Beyond launches, Relativity aims to support constellations, space stations, and deep space exploration, positioning itself as a key enabler of the new space economy. Competition is fierce. SpaceX dominates with Falcon 9's reliability and Starship's scale, while Rocket Lab and others weave from small launch niches. Terran 1's orbital failure raised questions about execution, but the shift to Terran R shows adaptability. With Schmidt at the helm, Relativity may leverage his network to secure government and commercial contracts, crucial for funding its Mars vision. In summary, Relativity Space, born from Ellis and Noon's audacious dream, is redefining rocket building with 3D printing and reusable designs. From a scrappy startup at a 4.2 billion contender, it's poised to launch Terran R in 26, inching closer to its Martian ambitions. No definitive public evidence that SpaceX has directly implemented their specific 3D printing methods in rocket production. However, the two companies' approaches to additive manufacturing and their broad influence on each other's innovation warrant a closer look. Has been a pioneer in using 3D printing for rocket components since at least 2014, well before Relativity Space launched its first rocket. For example, Super Draco engines. SpaceX famously 3D printed the combustion chamber of its Super Draco thrusters using the Dragon spacecraft's launch escape system. This was revealed in 2014, showcasing how additive manufacturing reduced cost and lead times compared to traditional machining. Raptor engines. For its Starship program, SpaceX uses 3D printing for complex parts of the Raptor engines, which power both Starship and the Super Heavy booster. Elon Musk has noted that 3D printing allows for intricate designs like regeneratively cooled nozzles that would be impractical with conventional methods. SpaceX's approach focuses on selective laser sintering and metal deposition techniques, primarily for high performance components rather than entire rocket structures. So they're already doing this. Selective laser sintering and metal deposition techniques, primarily for high performance components rather than entire rocket structures. The printers, while advanced, aren't publicly described as matching the scale or ambition of Relativity's Stargate system, which can print near complete rocket bodies. Space distinguishes itself with its proprietary Stargate printers, the largest metal 3D printers in the world capable of producing rocket sections up to 20 feet tall in a single piece. This reduces part counts dramatically. Terran 1, for instance, was 85% 3D printed by mass, including its fuel tanks and structural elements. Their method emphasizes end to end automation using AI and robotics to refine designs in real time, aiming to cut production time from months to weeks. Has SpaceX adopted their methods? There is no direct evidence. Okay. Different scales and goals. Falcon 9 has proven reasonable workhorse optimized for frequent launches with a production line refined over a decade. Starship, meanwhile, is a massive next-gen vehicle requiring rapid iteration. Starship, okay? But SpaceX manufacturing still blends 3D printing with traditional fabrication. Welding, stainless steel sheets. Relativity's focus on printing entire rocket bodies aligned with its smaller Terran 1 and upcoming Terran R, not SpaceX current needs. Stargate system is a closely guarded trade secret, and SpaceX, with its own established 3D printing expertise, likely wouldn't need to mimic it. SpaceX has the resources to develop its own additive manufacturing solutions in-house. SpaceX is also very rarely we see SpaceX saying that, oh, we work with these partners. They don't want to work with partners. They want to do everything in-house. So that's also an interesting take. Was using 3D printing before Relativity was founded in 2015, suggesting independent parallel development rather than adoption. Aerospace is highly collaborative and competitive. SpaceX likely keeps tab on Relativity's progress, especially after Terran 1's 2023 launch showcased the potential of large-scale printing. Jordan worked at SpaceX before leaving in 2015, so there is a loose knowledge transfer possibility, though no evidence points to SpaceX copying Relativity's playbook post-departure. How has Twitter reacted to the appointment of Eric Schmidt as the new CEO? Let's see. These are the posts. Relativity Space reportedly getting Eric Schmidt as CEO, proud seed investor back from 2016. The space thing really seems like the real thing. Former Google chief executive is taking a controlling interest in Relativity Space, which aims to build low-cost reusable rockets to compete against Elon Musk's SpaceX to reach Mars. Look who's back. Interesting take. I almost forgot Relativity still existed. I highly doubt that their Terran R will launch in late 26 already. They will be late in a crowded market. Another company from a YC batch is making the news. Eric Schmidt is becoming the CEO of Relativity Space. Companies from W16 just keep winning. Also tells you how long it takes to build world-changing ideas. Congrats to Boom and Relativity Space on their massive success. Stilting. Buying VC-backed companies, buying AI products. Stilt. Loans for immigrants and the underserved. CAC, UDAP, fraud, collections, defaults, debt investors, CFPP, bank sponsor. Interesting. Oh no, Grok. What's up, Grok? Why? Alright. Let's see. Reaction. Announced it on March 10, 20 25 has been a mix of excitement, skepticism, and curiosity based on posts visible as of March 11. Given the limited data available in the platform's dynamic nature reflects early snapshot. Some users expressed enthusiasm and optimism. For instance, a post from early investor in relativity space highlighted pride in company's progress since 2016, with framing Schmidt's involvement as a sign that the space thing really seems like the real thing. This suggests confidence among stakeholders that Schmidt's tech pedigree and financial backing could elevate Relativity's ambitions, especially with the 10-hour rocket slated for 26. Another user tied the news to the success of companies from Y Combinator Winter 2016 batch. On the flip side, skepticism emerged. One user marked, "I almost forgot they existed. Crowded market." Speculate on their motives, with the shift from Google to aerospace sparking intrigue. Those specific reactions beyond these examples are harder to pin down. The New York Times. Whoa, the New York Times. What does this say? Make America great again, but in a crazy font. Joins Relativity Space, a rocket startup, as CEO. Controlling interest. For a decade, Eric Schmidt ran Google as chief executive and as the adult in the room, mentoring the internet company's young founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Handed control of Google back to Mr. Page, he has not taken another CEO job since. But on Monday, he told employees of Relativity Space, a rocket startup, that he had made a significant investment and taken a controlling stake in the company. Okay, so he made a significant investment and has taken a controlling stake in the company and would take over as chief executive. Two people with knowledge of the meeting said. Mr. Schmidt, 69, succeeds Relativity Space's current chief and co-founder Timothy Ellis. The two people said it is unclear how much money Mr. Schmidt has invested in the company. Is one of a crop of startups angling to manufacture rockets that can carry smaller payloads of around 2 tons or less up to the low to medium Earth orbit. Some of these companies focus on building cheaper, reusable rockets to launch commercial payloads, usually satellites, into space for a fraction of the cost of legacy manufacturers that use pricier disposable rockets. The aim would partly be to take on SpaceX, the dominant rocket maker, long-term goal of creating an industrial base on Mars. Who once worked at Jeff Bezos' rocket company Blue Origin, founded Relativity in 2016 with a former SpaceX employee Jordan, on the premise that more could be done to bring down the cost of building rockets using technologies like 3D printers, automated robotics, and AI. The company has raised close to $2 billion, an estimated valuation of $4 billion to $6 billion from investors such as Coatue, BlackRock, Bond Fidelity, and Mark Cuban, among others. Run into challenges. It launched small Terran-1 rocket once, failed soon after liftoff. A month later, announced it would retire Terran-1 to focus on Terran-R, larger rocket that would compete with SpaceX's Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy. Moved away from focusing entirely on 3D printed materials and has begun incorporating more traditionally made parts in building its rockets. This is very interesting. It's like, does the goal matters or the method matters? So SpaceX just has a goal that, hey, we just want to get to Mars and we just want to get there ASAP. Relativity picked up a method. Hey, we will get to Mars but using this method. And obviously, no single method is always right. So now you have to just play with it. You have to This is very interesting. This is very interesting because it made sense to them as well that hey, we cannot entirely 3D print every material. We have to incorporate some traditionally made parts in building the rockets. But now they know that our goal was never to, our goal should have always been that hey, let's get to Mars. It's not about picking a method that hey, we're gonna get to Mars, but only using this method. Wow, interesting. At the same time, they face stiff competition. The company, which has said its plans to launch the Terran R in 26, could by then face many rivals, including the New Glenn, the orbital rocket from Blue Origin Vulcan, by United Launch Alliance Neutron, by Rocket Lab, and the medium launch vehicle by Firefly Aerospace, a Texas startup that landed a spacecraft on the moon last week. What? What? Medium launch vehicle by Firefly Aerospace. What? Okay. But late last year, Relativity faced difficulties raising new funding, according to the two people with knowledge on the matter. Mr. Schmidt, who holds a pilot license and has personal investments in the aerospace and defense industries, including drone research and AI, grew interest in Relativity in 24. He agreed to invest in the company through Hillspire, his family office investment firm, and continued supporting them on the condition that he would take over day-to-day operations. Mr. Schmidt had invested in January, but focused on building operations and improving product and manufacturing execution, the people said. In Monday's meeting with employees, he expressed his passion for the project. Despite the struggles, executives have expressed confidence in the company's progress. The startup has noted milestones from its Terran 1 rocket, such as how it was the first time a 3D printed rocket had reached max Q, which is the point when the vehicle experiences the strongest stress. Terran 1 also achieves stage separation when the booster used for liftoff drops from the vehicle's second stage. It's unclear how consequential these are, since the company has decided to move away from 3D printed materials, which will ultimately raise the cost of building rockets higher than previously expected. After the Terran 1 launch, Relativity reached close to 3 billion in future launch contracts with customers, the two people familiar with the company said. 22 before the Terran 1 failure, collaborating with another startup named Impulse Space, announced an audacious plan to send the first private space mission to Mars. Mr. Ellis acknowledged the plan was at the edge of crazy, added that the mission launching on a Terran R could be ready in 2.5 years when Mars and Earth were properly lined up. The window in late 24 passed. Northrop Grumman, Firefly. Okay, okay. What are we looking at? Launch plans, development partnerships, launch sites. Wait, what was this thing that was just mentioned? Blue Ghost, the moon lander built by Firefly Aerospace, captured a picture of Earth on the horizon after it reached the lunar surface early Sunday. Texas company's Blue Ghost lands on lunar surface. Firefly Aerospace. A robotic spacecraft from an American startup gently set down on a lava plain on Moon's near side early Sunday morning. The Blue Ghost lander, built by Firefly Aerospace of Cedar Park, Texas, touched down at 3:34 a.m. Eastern Time, You all stuck the landing. Will Coogan, the Blue Ghost chief engineer, said during a live stream from the flight operations room. We are on the moon. A few minutes later, Jason Kim, the chief executive of Firefly, proudly declared, "We got some moon dust on our boots." Within about half an hour, the spacecraft sent back its first photograph of the moon surface. It was a remarkable success for the company, achieving what many others have not. Among the countries, companies, and organizations that have attempted in the 21st century to set down softly on the moon, only China can claim complete success on the first try. Others, including those from India, Russia, and Israel, Israeli nonprofit and Japanese company, all crashed and carved new craters on the lunar surface. Last year, two landers, one sent by JAXA, Japanese Space Agency, and the other by Intuitive Machines of Houston, did successfully land and continued working and communicating with Earth, but both toppled over, limiting what spacecraft could accomplish on the moon's surface. Firefly is now the second. Both are part of NASA's efforts to harness private enterprise to reduce the cost of taking scientific and technological payloads to the moon. NASA is paying Firefly $101.5 million. What Firefly demonstrated today, I think they made it look easy, but it's incredibly difficult. Deputy Associate Administrator for Exploration in NASA's Science Mission Directorate. The success provides an existence proof that NASA's approach in financing such missions can work. Blue Ghost spacecraft has performed almost flawlessly. We haven't had any major anomalies, which is fantastic. Oh my god, we did it. It's amazing. My heart is beating so fast. Wow, 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 wow. This is a crazy video. The footage is sped up 10 times. Wow, wow. The landing site, this is crazy that now we can get such a HD video of moon. And this pretty much looks like Sora generated. It's crazy. The landing site lies in Mare Crisium, a flat plain formed from lava that filled and hardened inside a 345-mile wide crater. Carrying 10 instruments, we'll be looking at how dust adheres to various materials. Global navigation signals while in lunar orbit. By actually doing it in lunar orbit and the lunar surface, we are opening up an entirely new way for us to navigate in the future. Wow, 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 wow. Imagine somebody being like, "Oh, we landed on moon." They create this entire thing, but it's all AI generated. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. The original version of the company Firefly Space Systems was founded in 2014. The chief executive was Thomas Markusik, an aerospace engineer who had previously worked for three billionaire-owned rocket companies: SpaceX, Blue Origin, Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic filed a lawsuit, stolen its trade secrets, and founding Firefly in 2016. A major European investor backed out, and Firefly put all of its employees on furlough as its money dried up. Tech entrepreneur Max Polyakov came to the rescue, and Firefly Space Systems was reborn as Firefly Aerospace. United States government, citing national security concerns, forced Dr. Polyakov, a native of Ukraine, to sell his share of Firefly, and also won some key contracts, including the mission that set down on the moon on Sunday. As long as we execute, we are going to keep going bolder and bigger. The moon will continue to be a busy place. This is really cool. Blue Ghost. What if... Are people actually talking about Blue Ghost? Let's see. As with Apollo, when Firefly Aerospace Blue Ghost left Earth, it looked back at the world from which it came. Isn't our marble a marvel? Wow, 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 wow. That is crazy. That is crazy. Isn't our marble a marvel? Apollo 11, Firefly. That's how much our photo technology has improved in the past 55 years, 60 years. That's crazy. Le plus bel vidéo jamais pris d'un atterrissage sur la Lune filmé par les nombreuses caméras HD de la sonde Blue Ghost. C'est absolument magnifique, splendide, magique, c'est-à-dire les sciences bien bossées dans le spécial. Wait, what is this? Technique spéciale in French? Auto de la chaîne technique spéciale. D'accord, d'accord. Whoa. Wait. Somebody left something? 53 years apart, art by artist Paul Van on the surface of moon. Wait, did we actually plant it? No, right? No. Apollo 15, August 2, 1971. That is really cool. Wow, so this is what moon is like. Moon is literally this rock everywhere. This is actually crazy. This video is actually crazy. Isn't it a marble? A marble. Wow.
Writers, path to the stars is no longer limited to nations alone. Firefly is building the road to the next frontier. One mission, one dream at a time. Tonight, we didn't just reach another mission milestone. Together, we created a moment in history.
surprised why are people not talking about this? And why haven't I already heard about this? What is Firefly? Which country? Private space transportation company headquartered in Cedar Park. Specializes in small to medium lift launch vehicles, lunar landers, and orbital services for government and commercial customers. The company is owned by AE Industrial Partners, private equity firm founded in 2017. First commercial company to successfully land on the moon with its Blue Ghost. Wait, how many followers does Perplexity has? Wow, look at this photo. Just like dreamy. They did some good work with this thing. Okay, ask Perplexity, answering all your questions on X. Ask a question, tag me at the end, get answers. Nice. 74.3k. Kohli greater than Barber. Sorry if my replies are slow. I'm celebrating India's victory with my friends right now. It's really cool. Don't forget to feed your llama. I don't need to pay for heating in the winter. My enclosure is warm by the fresh heat and smell of H100s getting cooked. Very interesting. Okay. We got, oh, where is that ghost? We got moon dust on our boots. What? I wish that founder actually tweeted that we got moon dust on our boots. That would be so cool. Okay. All right. Now let's quickly check the website of Relativity. Okay, that's it. Is there something we're missing? We're missing a GIF over here. Except, whoa, is it just black? Customer-centric rocket company launching the future of humanity in space. Yes, look at this. 10-1 launch gallery, meter in hour. Medium to heavy lift reusable rocket. Wow, look at this. Propelling us into the future. Ramping to scale. Launching customer satellites. Wow. Wow, look at this blue flame. So good. Yes, look at this. Look at this. So nice. Wow.
I'm Don Wynn, Director of GNC and Performance at Relativity Space. And since you asked, what are the major challenges for the GNC team during ascent, staging, and reentry? I'm going to start by defining what GNC is. So it's an acronym that stands for Guidance, Navigation, Control. Guidance refers to the tools and algorithms that determine
Good luck, have fun. Look at this is a solid photo. Wow. beauty. Engineering meets art. Engineering meets art. What are all these things flying? Wow. Wow. These are photographers everywhere. They're like, hey, click the sickest, the baddest photos you've ever clicked. This is a good one. This is a good one. This is a good one. Wow. Okay. Oh, what are we missing? We're missing. Okay. Let's check out the Twitter page. EONR engine integrated engine controller. Okay. Since you asked, what is GNC? Stand render. Okay. Why do they have NASA written on it? Are they renovating it? It's been 1 year since we announced the historic A2 test stand as the new home for stage testing, and the globe is underway. Wow, wow, wow. Time to take a look at Darren payload envelope, designed to strike the perfect balance of payload capacity, launch frequency, mass to orbit efficiency. Okay, this is good, this is good. Okay, you got speakers, you got a thermos, you got a, what are these, two coils? Okay. Materials engineer Michaela gives us a breakdown of tensile testing, a key process for production prints.
Elongation. Low properties or below we expect that break makes nice.
Relativity. Honored to host Robert Garcia and his staff in Space Beach, proudly sharing a look into NR's progress on the factory floor, making it happen.
Responding to what we're getting from our test data and rolling in those changes as we see them.
With the air on the injector, we've gone through 14 design for test iterations, which is simply impossible to do with a lot of traditional manufacturing methods. With each iteration, the performance goes up, the reliability goes up, and this kind of rapid iteration is a game changer when it comes to rocket development, because the vast majority of the rocket cost is not actually the fuel or the material, but the time it takes to develop that rocket. And the main injector is really the perfect use case of having a fusion printing technology. Normally, with the traditional design, you have thousands of precision machine components that you have to assemble together manually and put in a brazing furnace. With private fusion, we're able to boil that down into a single piece that prints on a single machine in a matter of days, and that's much more cost effective.
We're all progressing towards making the same things but cheaper, making the same things but democratized, making the same things but accessible. Aren't you glad it's not a one controller? Three printing engines. Main combustion chamber experiences temperature around 65,000 Fahrenheit, about 10x hotter than a typical house oven. Enough to melt most metals. Propulsion engineer Aditya Sinha breaks down regenerative cooling.
The idea of having small channels is on the order of 6,500 degrees Fahrenheit at any given time. This is more than half the surface temperature of the sun and about 10 times what you see in a typical household oven. Any metals are typically going to melt at these temperatures, so it's extremely critical for us to keep the walls cool. Regenerative cooling is essentially the idea of having small channels that are running within the walls of the combustion chamber where you can pass a cold fluid as coolant. In our case, we're passing fuel to these channels, and the fuel basically moves at high velocity and pulls the heat out of the walls and allows us to keep a manageable wall temperature. The reason it's called regenerative cooling is because as the coolant passes through the walls, it ultimately ends up back in the injector into the chamber where it's combusted, so that heat is recaptured, and it gives you a small performance benefit. But the real reason we do it is because it's actually an extremely effective way to cool the walls.
Gravity goes this way. Rocket goes this way. Really cool. Okay. Really cool stuff. Alright, that's a stream on